Hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and tonight I need to apologize. I have to retract from the reports I made about Meghan not being the new face of Dior. Turns out I was wrong. So, behold, exclusive pics of the upcoming collaboration between the Duchess of Sausages and the House of Dior. Sausage, the new stench. I still don't have official reports about this, but it is said to be a 69 million contract. I have to tell you, WME is doing a great job at reinvigorating Methane's career with the right moves, and she will need whatever is left of her star power for the tsunami that is coming. Meghan Markle faked podcast interviews, her voice added later. Sources. And it is my understanding that this is one of the reasons Spotify decided to cut ties with her because, as I told you a couple days ago, the way she produced Arsewives was completely against what podcasts are known for, and spontaneous, as little edited as possible conversation. But it turns out that Meghan went overboard with the creative liberties thing. Pod News reported that some of the show's interviews were done by members of the Duchess staff, and audio of her voice asking the questions was clipped in later. We knew that something was fishy, and I mean more than the usual Harkle's fishy, when writer Alison Jarrow shared on Instagram last year that she was included in the Visionary series. But she included thanks to an Arsewives producer from being an excellent interviewer. But then, what is the difference now? Well, we need to address new insights so you can have a better perspective about the greatest grift in podcast history. Meghan Markle's podcast produced just 12 episodes in a 20 million contract. The Wall Street Journal suggests that she may not earn the full amount after not meeting productivity clauses. So that's a huge problem for the Harkle's cash flow. But I still have the question, why did they take so long to produce those 12 episodes? Now we know that some of those episodes had been recorded months before being aired. Perhaps if they hadn't waited so long, the results would have been different. Will Page, former chief economist at Spotify, suggests that Harry and Meghan earned more from Spotify than the most streamed song ever, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Not bad for 12 hours work. So, yeah, f***ing grifters. But you know that Meghan's fans are more stubborn than you can imagine, and they are making Suits trend. Oh, that's nice. I just wanted to point out the funny things that one of those images that were trending, an image about the series, is actually missing one character from the cast. I'm sure you already noticed who I'm talking about, so mystery. And the roasting of the Montecito morons continues in all flanks. Princess Lam got this. Paul sent me this short bit from Fox News tonight. Worth a watch. Maybe the two of them could have launched a new fragrance called Lazy and Entitled. Smells like all cash with a hint of Oprah. You can't gripe about your relatives and make it your brand. Kate is perfect. And while some are mocking them, others are setting the record straight. Canal making a summary of Dior's reaction to all this media storm. Report crowning a new Duchess of Dior have left the team in Paris nonplussed as to how the story came out per the Telegraph. Meghan just needs to shut up and live her life. That's it. It doesn't take brain surgery. Just pipe down, girl. It's super embarrassing. Now, I don't want to brag. Maybe my English pronunciation is sloppy at times, but in regards to reading, I have been reading in English for 30 years, and this is the first time I stumble upon this word, nonplussed, meaning so surprised and confused that one is unsure how to react. And the example in context reads, Henry looked completely nonplussed. It's funny that the example when you Google that word is about someone called Henry. Well, there's one Henry I know that is usually nonplussed every time his wife comes up with another scheme to make money. Yeah, confused and unsure how to react. And I already know how to use this new word because it applies perfectly to Jack Royston, who is Newsweek's chief Montecito shill, when anti-racism activist Imar Ayton just destroyed his stance about Harry and Meghan live on Good Morning Britain.
No, they need to go away. I do apologise for interjecting. They just need to go away. Let's be honest with ourselves here. They got themselves in this mess. Let's talk about ourselves for 3 years, but then simultaneously say we want privacy. It's that dichotomy that's got them in this position. They need to go away. Go silent.
And talking about the irony and timing of things, Queen Camilla attended the first day of royal escort with a bespoke, yeah, you guessed it, Dior outfit because, well, I don't know. Do you think this was a coincidence? The comments are open to any theories you can come up with. But she was also wearing the Queen Mother's shell brooch today. Made for Lord Courtauld Thompson in 1919, the brooch was left to the Queen Mother in 1944 and more recently worn by the late Queen Elizabeth. By the way, I know that I use artificial images here and there just to spice things up, so I wouldn't blame you if you thought that this picture of William doing what looks like an Elvis impersonation was fake. But no, this is the real deal. And yes, it's more than obvious that he was having a lot of fun. It so happens that he was visiting St. George's Park to see the Lionesses ahead of the FIFA Women's World Cup. And he also surprised their coach, Serena Wickman, with her Commander of the British Empire medal. Talk about a surprise visit. And this popped up in my timeline, and I just needed to share this with you. Thanks to Sarah Secret for bringing this to my attention. The portrait of Queen Victoria behind the Princess of Wales was commissioned by Queen Victoria for her coronation, painted by Sir George Hayter in 1838. Did you know the painter was appointed as Queen Victoria's Painter of History and Portrait in 1837? And I featured this portrait for personal reasons. Some of you already know that I studied design, but more than designer, I have been an illustrator, so when I was at design school, I like to apply as much illustration as possible to my design projects. So I had to make a poster about a font called Victorian with all the ornaments that you can imagine, and I thought of not only making a lettering composition, but integrate it to a direct replica in color pencils of this painting, like this size. And since I'm always overkill in my projects, I ended up not making a poster, but a diorama, a three-dimensional layered model. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. Sadly, the model was lost, but maybe I should retake portraits again. Who knows? Maybe I could make it someday to the National Portrait Gallery. My Royal Rogues, it's my greatest pleasure to announce that in the past 30 days, 1 million Rogues have watched and enjoyed my videos. That is awesome! But only a bit over 10% of that million have subscribed. So all you have to do is click the like and subscribe buttons. It's free and the best way to inspire me to keep making these daily videos about royal news and memes. The two most important words, much love and bliss.